Jonte Porter under investigation for helping the homies cash out on the under. His under. Twice. The Final Four is here, and we're looking at some early games, and we're going to have a look at the women's Final Four matchups as well going down. Drake and J. Cole ambushed by the entire music industry. The Revengers is what we're calling it here in Toronto, and the MLB is in full swing. All of that, plus mo, pun completely intended. You are listening and or watching a brand new, well-anticipated episode of No Cap Bets. Let's get to it.
Football, basketball, this is No Cap Bets with Plus Mo.
If you like football, basketball, you're betting 10, 20, 50, 100, the friendly wager with the homie, you already know what it is. It's the podcast for you. Never claim to be an industry professional. Just trying to get you the quick flip off of the sports ting. No long talking, no lies, no limits. This is No Cap Bets. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Join the No Cap Nation. Hit the notification bell if you're taking this in on YouTube. And subscribe everywhere else you possibly can. The madness comes to a close. March is over. The men and women have now shut it down now to about 4 teams that have punched their way into the national championship conversation. The Final Four for the ladies goes like this. You got USC, Juju Watkins, stunning freshman, doing her thing. She's nice. They're going up against UConn tonight. UConn is a 3.5-point favorite at the time of this recording. I think Juju can do it, but I do feel like this is a coaching advantage. If it's Gino in the Final Four, he's going to Natty. That's just my personal opinion. Not my lock. My lock, however, is going to come in this game. It is the LSU Tigers, the Bayou Bay. Flo J, shout out to her. Morrow, Haley over there. Van Lith. It's the LSU Tigers. They're going up against Caitlin Clark, the GOAT of this college basketball women's game. Iowa, 1.5-point favorites. I mean, if you watched Iowa this entire time, I feel like it's their path, the path that they took. I don't know who they played in the Elite Eight. I think it was Creighton. I feel like they've just been making light work out of everybody. So LSU's been a little tested. Like UCLA had them up against the ropes. They had to come back and win that. And they got a lot of depth. Haley Van Lith has not been playing really good this entire tournament. And she could just get it going at any moment's notice. They got another girl from the Midi. I think her name's Morrow, if I'm not mistaken. Angel Reese is going to do her thing. Flo J's balling better than she was balling last year in her sophomore year. This team's crazy, man. I like this LSU team. Obviously, people are going to hype up the revenge match from the Can't See Me to the Yayo to Cena, whatever you want to call it. She put the hands in the face, and Angel Reese did it right back to her, and everybody made a big stink. Dave from Barstool made a big stink about it, especially. But that's my lock. We're locking it up like dude who organizes the freak-offs, because that's crazy. It's the LSU Tigers plus 1.5. On the men's side, you got UConn going up against Alabama. Alabama, shout out to them. Mark Sears, I don't really know. Grant Nelson, who else is on that team? A couple other guys. I kind of forgot that they were in the Final Four because it's like, at this point, it's UConn versus, like, it's UConn and everyone else. Like, I don't know what the line is right now. I think it's at 11.5 at the time of recording this, but this is early, and UConn has beat everybody by 30 points. At some point, they've been leading by 30 points in every game of the tournament. Like, as the competition gets harder, they still manage to be up 30, which is crazy to me. So, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to have to go with I'm gonna have to go with UConn. Like it's like a UConn double digit thing. If it goes up to 13.5, maybe I might look the other way. But that's my early thoughts on that. Um, UConn, they made, who was it, Clemson? They made them look like they were actually in the game for the first half, and then they went on a 30-0 run. That's ridiculous. You're not going to see that in college basketball too often. So um, probably staying away. If it goes up to like 13, like yeah, leave me out of it. But um, UConn looks like they're winning the Natty. On the other end, you got like a real David versus Goliath here. You got NC State looking to like recreate the what they call it, Jimmy V, the NC State run from back in the '80s where they literally like won every game in the ACC tournament and every game in the NCAA tournament, and it looks like they're about to do it again. But they go up against a literal Goliath, like a giant in Zach Edey. He just put up 40 up against Tennessee. That line is about 9 right now, the last I checked. So obviously, Purdue looks like they're ready to stop the run. I'm not going to lie. This looks like where this is NC State's. Like, I didn't even expect them to really take Duke. I did take them 7.5 against Duke, but I didn't expect them to win it outright. And this might really be where they hit their ceiling. Shout out to the dude DJ Burns, looking like Green Mile, Blindside. He balled out. Both the DJs balled out. O'Connell, like I'm expecting them to fight, like give it a good, 3/4 of a game. Obviously, it's 2 halves in NCAA, but yeah, like if O'Connell, Burns, Horn, Diarra, even if they manage to just go off, I think they got another dude, Bassel, like the dude from the bench. If they manage to go off, like they could keep it close, but Purdue just looks like way too strong. They look like they're a team that could win the Natty if UConn didn't exist. So probably gonna get back to y'all on what that line looks like, because like I said, it's a literal David and Goliath matchup. Everybody loves a Cinderella story, but I don't know if I can run with NC State on this one. So we'll get back to you on that one. But for the women's lock, it is the LSU Tigers. Speaking of just locking it up, I mean, I don't know, is this dude going to get locked up or he's going to get locked off of the team? It looks like, Jonte Porter. By now you guys have all heard 2 games in March. This dude was like the best. Like he paid out millions on his unders. There's footage now of him like under 4 rebounds. He gets 3 boards. The 4th board comes, he just taps it to someone else. There's more footage where he hits a 3 and he banks it, and he looks like legit pissed. So now you done gave the goons, especially here in Toronto, you gave the goons a come up, a whole lick right here. No Diddy. They're gonna run up now and be like, hey, I need you to score under 18. And I need you to do it before I ever see you in this club again. Like, what are players going to do? Everywhere players go now, they're going to be shook because someone is really might press them. So, I love this Raptors team right now. Scotty Barnes, lay low. It's hot out here. It's really dangerous out here for you players and the betters. Like, this is crazy. I never thought we would see a time like this. Whatever happened to back in the day with the pro line. And I mean, obviously, it sounds like the Raptors don't want anything to do with this guy moving forward. And, it is what it is. I think he probably just tried to put his homies on, and then his homies maybe spread the word. And to be honest, I mean, he just did it in a very blatant way. Like, the first thing he really could have done was just, I don't know, don't check yourself out the game. You know what I mean? One was an eye injury, and then the other one was an undisclosed one. But it just probably, like, you know how they say where there's smoke, there's fire. Well, where there's smoke here, it's a loud pack. I can't imagine how many players might do this for their homies on the low, and now he's literally just put the whole thing on blast. So, I mean, come to think about it, it's a great way to take care of your homies. You know, I'm going to start going to some high school games and some college games because, you know, it's like, why not try to get in on this before the whole thing blows up? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can get a couple homies on the under, you know, they're still winning, right? Like, hey, instead of hitting 3 threes, just hit 2, you know? Sadly enough, man, this dude had to be a Raptor. I feel like we always get the crummy stories, you know, Kobe, from when Kobe got 81 on us, we never get good stories. Speaking of Toronto, I feel like I'm betraying Toronto lately because it looks like Nav and The Weeknd and Rick Ross and Future and Travis Scott and I think I could keep going, right? Like Metro Boomin has like created like the NWO, and I mean he even took dudes from Toronto. Like that's crazy. So I don't really know what's going on. I know Drake is like sick with the pen, so I'm not worried. You know what I'm saying? Like in the slightest. I just feel like you know, all week, like I've been listening to it, man. It shit slaps, you know what I mean? And I feel crazy for saying I'm from Toronto. Like I feel like I'm not supposed to say that, you know, that like the beats slaps and you know the verse goes hard. But I'm not counting Drake out. Like, dude, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? If you think he's not gonna come back. So far, I see he's like coming with some fire IG captions. You know what I'm saying? He's always killing it with that. He's always good with the. I do feel like we need a response though, and like I said, this thing feels like NWO. You just don't know who's gonna switch up next, who's gonna join next. Rick Ross was playing the track in the Maybach, and you know, but Jay told him this a long time ago. Jay said, "Here's how to come at you with silly rap feuds." That's on the first album. So Jay was telling him back then that like dudes are gonna switch up, and now I really got to go back to All the Dogs album because it seems like he picked up on this. Like he really, he knew something was up from the very beginning. Because there's some jabs, there's some slight bars over there and some subs. You know, like he was talking a lot about, oh, I got to do a lot of these favors. Like I don't owe you guys no favors. Or I don't need none of your favors. So I wonder what that's about. Yeah, like where he says like, oh, like we could swap the songs on some Don't Even Mention It, and he's like, actually, don't even worry about it. You could just have my feature. There's so much little subliminals going on that For the Dogs. I gotta go back to it because yeah, there's stuff in there that I didn't even know that was about Future. Long story short, I mean, you know, I'm here to talk about sports, but I just had to take this time to represent Toronto and just let everybody know, like Drake's still in the fight. You know what I'm saying? This has been another episode of No Cap Bets. Subscribe to the channel. Join the No Cap Nation. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe to No Cap Bets on just the podcast on every platform. It's great to be back. I haven't done this in a minute, and you know, for everybody that's been looking out and asking me, hey, when are you gonna bring this thing back? We brought it back. So yeah, we'll see you guys in about a week's time. We're gonna take it slow and steady. But it's been another episode of No Cap Bets on Plus. Bless up.
Football, basketball, this is No Cap Bets. With Plus Mo. No lies, no limits, no long talking. This is No Cap Bets.